Well, hello, my friends. Beautiful day again. I'm taking every opportunity to get out in the woods. First of all, though, a little Nord humor. You know why Thor drank so much mead? 'Cause he liked to get hammered. Okay, boys. Now, let's go do some shooting. Okay, guys, so today I'm working on my nocking point because I've been shooting this new bow a little bit high, so I have to get used to it. Now, this is how you would make an adjustable nocking point. Pretend that this is a string and that this is a little stick of some sort. Now, you take your string and you put it this way so that the tail is facing that way, and you take the back and you simply wrap it around itself. Several times, usually around 7 times is good. And now you see this stick? Well, I'll just remove that, and the part of the string that's coming up, we will just slide it through that little space where we removed it. Now we can pull on this, and we can pull on this part, and you'll see that we get a knot. Now, this knot, if it's made of string the same as you're using in your serving or slightly bigger, it's going to fit into the grooves of the serving. And as you turn it, it will go. And I'll take a pair of scissors and cut this off and this off. But as you turn it, it's going to adjust up and down. And it's a very good way of adjusting your nocking point because it will only go up one thread at a time. You see? So that's a good way of doing it. Now, the way that I do it these days actually is I will simply take several nocks and put on my string. And I'll put the arrow under the bottom one, shoot for a while, put it in the first notch, shoot for a while, put it in the second one, shoot for a while, put it in this one, shoot for a while, put it in the top, and shoot for a while. Eventually, I'm going to find a spot that works for this bow. At that point, I just take off the rest of the nocks. Okay? Anyhow, that's the way I do it. It's pretty simple, and it's easy to do. I've had guys say that they've had friends where these have flown off and hit them in the hand. I've put on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and I've never had a problem like that, so I don't know if the guy didn't crimp it in or he was reusing it and bending it so many times, but I found that they are pretty safe, and doing it this way is pretty easy. So anyhow, that's what I do. Now, let's get back to some shooting. Back in a minute, boys. Okay, guys, so we're just checking this out at 20 yards. I'm finding that that middle one seems to be working. I'm just going to leave them all on for a few days, and I'll just practice up and down until I get used to it and which one I like the most. That's one of the advantages of this. Whereas if you just turn it, now you got to stay with that. You can't turn it down and turn it back up and turn it down. Here I can just try different levels when I'm in different moods. Anyhow, let's see if we can hit something. Okay. Anyhow, what I'm finding is that by adjusting this way, I'm starting to get used to this bow a little bit more. I'm finding that at this position, the gap is similar to my longbow, and so that's good. Anyhow, that's what we're doing today. We're just going to check out playing around with our nocking point. And, so we're in there. We're not shooting over it. We're not shooting under it. That's all I'm looking for today. I don't care how high that knock is or where it is, as long as I start hitting the target. Then I'll measure it after. I'm not measuring before. I'm measuring after I hit the target. Back in a minute. Okay, guys. Yeah, so I'm using that higher knock now, the highest one. Okay, I'm still a little bit on the high side, really. Uh, just seems to be the way I think. This is another thing. See this bow? This bow, here, let's see if you can see it. This bow has the shelf that much above my hand. Whereas if you're shooting off your hand, your arrow is there. Or with the English long, or the American longbow, I can put my hand up there. But because of this groove, I can't. So this bow actually has a shelf that's much higher, and I think that's what's affecting this knock here. It's got something to do with it. But anyhow, eventually we'll get this all figured out. But you can see with those shots there, one was pretty nice, two were slightly higher than I wanted. Still in there, but definitely needs some work. This is how you figure it out, boys. Trial and error. Well, guys, one thing that I have found with this bow, that it does shoot better held vertical. Definitely better. Yeah, looks like that's the way I do it. Okay. One fella, I can't think of his name, I wish I could remember it, was saying, geez, Gare, maybe your hand goes right. He notices that my hand goes right when I shoot. He's saying, maybe that's why you're shooting right. He's trying to be helpful, And it's a consideration, though, in all honesty, canting your bow to the right will make you shoot more right than this, because, you see, if you're right-handed and you're shooting, holding the bow with your left, then, of course, holding the bow on here means that my shoulder is on the left side of the line. So if you're pressing, your hand will do that. When you let go, it will do that. I call it the English catra. Maybe I shouldn't say that. People get so easily offended. But anyhow, just like when you shoot off the right, and there's the catra that gets the bow out of the way, when you shoot off the left, if you're left-armed, that's catra. It drops out of the way and gets out of the way. So that's all that's going on. But holding this bow vertical is much better, I think. And let's see here. Yeah, so, we're more over the center where we want to be, a bit high, but we're shooting straight. We're just playing with our knock today. Okay, boys? Anyhow, let's keep at it. Okay, guys. It's okay. I think I've got it. Yeah, that's a little better. Anyhow, not the greatest shooter in the world, but you know something? I was told that Howard Hill used to draw off his back, and it's true. And he used to put his arrow on above the nock and slide it down. Okay, and that's true. Like Howard Hill would pull it up, take it out, right, and put it down on his bow. And if he wasn't looking, he would just slide it down. Now, that's understandable. Myself, I bring it up from under, not over, because I draw from my hip. So I'll take it up like this and push it through, put the arrow under the nock, and simply slide it up. Okay, so Howard, again, down from the top, puts it on, slides it down. I come up from the bottom, put it on, slide it up. Does exactly the same thing. Okay, the reason why I'm not too crazy about back quivers is I can't see my arrows, and when I see guys doing that to get their arrow out, it doesn't look very graceful to me. But anyhow, that's just my choice, But oh, and another thing. Now that I'm doing this and I'm putting two nocks on, there's no quick sliding anyhow. I may eventually take them off because I don't normally use it, but right now I'm just leaving them like this. One on top, one on bottom. It's very steady. Anyhow, that's what we're doing. But yeah, down here again, you'll see that, got one kind of high, right? There's still that high tendency, but I'm getting onto it, That's all that we can account for today. Anyhow, let's keep at it. Okay, guys. Now we're going to take a couple shots here at this 20, but I'm using the 1 7/8 high knocking point. Okay. Can't quite tell where that last one is. It's probably a bit high, but anyhow. I start to use 1 7/8 right now, and it's not shooting that bad. So you can see how you have to experiment up and down, It seems to be counter-logical that my arrow is like that, but I'm hitting the target. That's what's important. And, Ray Spaxman, he was also asking me, do I think it's more important to look at the target or look at the tip? Well, in all honesty, I think looking at the target is better, because if you're looking at the target out here, here you can see it, out here, you can tell when the arrow is lined up to it, right? Lined up to it. But if you're just looking at the tip, somehow it always looks straight. It always looks straight, so you'll let go. But it's not really straight. You have to look at the target to know when it's lined up to it. So whether you look around a little bit at the point of aim or not, doesn't matter so much to me as lining it up to the target. Anyhow, yep, one up high. There's a couple hits. Anyhow, I think that 1 7/8 is where this is working out pretty good. Just got to get used to it. Back in a minute. Okay, guys. It's 4:25. It'll be dark in 35 minutes. Unbelievable. shooting low. Okay, there's a couple of shots there. You know, guys, this is working better for me. 1 7/8 inches. I'm starting to get on the line. It's different to shoot than a longbow, that's all. Again, this shelf is up a lot higher, you know. So that's what you got to do. Anyhow, is get that knock up. Don't worry about where it is. Just keep moving until you hit it. But you can see, you know, took a few quick shots here, and I popped one low and I popped one slightly left. But you know, most of them are right in there. So I think that we're going to home in on this. Anyhow, it's starting to get dark. I don't know if I'll walk out of the woodshed or not. Back in a minute. Okay, guys. I don't feel like going home, but I guess I'm going to run out of light. I think that we found a pretty good knocking point. I think I'll just leave that. I'll show you something. This here. Now you notice two are a little bit high, but you notice how they're one above the other. They're not off to the left or off to the right. That means that I'm on the line, shooting consistently. When I first got here, I could shoot right over them or I could shoot under them. But when I put it on that last 1 7/8 knock, I'm pretty well getting them in there. Work on it a little bit, but anyhow, you guys have a good week and have a bit of fun. Wear your masks. Wash your hands. Don't kiss a fool. Long life, boys. Take care of yourselves. Bye now. Okay, guys. I got a regular target here at 20 yards. Okay, so we took 3 little shots here. The thing is that I have got this knocking point up to 1 7/8 inches. Okay, that may seem very high, but it's actually giving me a gap very similar to my longbow. Even though the longbow was 3/8 and this is 1 7/8, in other words, you know, about 1.5 inches higher, it's working. That's all that matters, is that things work. Whether you take a little thread and you screw it up until you find a point, or you use a system like this, you'll it will help you out. And you know, now this is at 20 yards, and we have a little dot to aim at, and you can see, you know, they're going in there, right? So it's quite capable of being shot fairly accurately. Okay, guys. Now you guys have a good week. Think about what I'm telling you. Have fun, boys. Take care.